Hello and welcome to this week's Rugby League Coach analysis video. My name is Lee Addison. I'm from rugbyleaguecoach.com.au and the author of Rugby League Coach 13 Game-Changing Conversations to Transform Your Coaching. I'm a coach mentor, a coach consultant, and a few other things as well. Please go to rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach mentor. You may notice I've had my hair cut since last week, and yes, it looks like the council have done it. Brisbane Council, that is. And while we're talking about Brisbane, in a matter of days now from when you'll be watching this video, Brisbane Broncos will be playing the Hull Kingston Rovers in the World Club Challenge, February the 19th. And for so many analysis videos now, we've looked at what Hull KR are going to have to deal with or bring. This will be the last analysis video on Hull KR for a while. And I think it's important to note that when I am recording this, I'm still a few days out from the start of the Super League too. So this video can be a preview of Hull KR's attack, which it is, but a preview of their attack before they play York Knights in the opener of Super League on the first Thursday of the season. And then, of course, exactly a week later, they'll meet Brisbane Broncos. So if you haven't already, check the analysis videos playlist on this YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this YouTube channel because there's going to be analysis videos every week. Without further ado, we will go to the video, but please just let me tell you about a free coaching webinar I am doing on February the 18th, the day before the World Club Challenge as it happens. It's called Your Best Season Yet. It's a free webinar for coaches where I will be going through some very modern methods of how to do your training with your players. Some of your pre-season will still be impacted by these quality methods, and we'll be looking at ways that you can make training as entertaining as possible so that your players want to keep coming back, but at the same time get them fitter and more skilled than they ever have been. If you want to join that webinar, please send me an email, admin@rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram at Rugby League Coach. If you've been watching my analysis videos on Hull KR for a while, you'll know I've mentioned the concept I'm just about to talk about now, which is when Hull Kingston Rovers exit, they tend to wrap across the field, particularly at the start of the game. And by that, I mean go from left to right, as they are doing now, or right to left on other occasions with their hit-ups. And one of the benefits of this is you can work a defence laterally. You can make the defence go up, across and backwards, and that can tire players out if you stick to this concept for a long period of time. And Hull KR tend to do this quite significantly. Even some of their attacking sets tend to do this. Now, that there is also a warning, and I'm going to go back to that. You'll know if you've been watching me that I talk about how Brisbane will need to start fast because Hull KR in their big games last year started a little bit slow. Did you also see how offside the marker was then? And that does happen in Super League with a Super League ref quite a lot. And Mikey Lewis kicks with his left foot, and he's had to bring the ball from his right and bring it across to his left. So that cuts down the amount of time he's got to kick, and he's pressured from the outside. So expect Brisbane to do something very similar onto Mikey Lewis. That said, Hull KR were lucky there. There's a marker's not square again. And they got a repeat set. So luckily for us, we can just look at another exit set. Here's the kick chase again that pressured Mikey Lewis. So not good protection there from Hull KR. And as you can see, Hull KR are wrapping across the field again. They're going from left to right or bottom to top as we look at the screen. So it'd be interesting to see if that's how they start against York Knights in round 1 of Super League and also the Brisbane Broncos in the World Club Challenge. Working the defenders laterally across the field. We're a bit further up the field now, so that first carry was definitely directed by the player who's in number 35 but playing fullback there towards the middle of the field. And then you will see that Hull Kingston Rovers will target, as many teams do, the half on each side of the field, right or left, but also the hooker in the middle of the defensive line. So here they are coming from what was originally a yardage situation. Did you see that player made a beeline there for the number 6? So they are targeting the pivots on each side. But what they've also done there, Hull Kingston Rovers, is if we have a look at the screen and with the lines that I'm just making on the screen now, you will notice that they've worked Wigan laterally, because this is the grand final from last year. They've worked Wigan laterally, and they can attack back at them or back towards them. So even in this area of the field, they're trying to work Wigan or their opposition laterally. And the benefit of that is you make them do some defence, you make them move, and then you attack them. So let's see what Hull Kingston Rovers do here. They throw some shape with Mikey Lewis and a body at that line. So very clear to me that that's what they're trying to achieve. On the back of that, they kick the football. Mikey Lewis in particular has got a good attacking kick, and Hull KR will always compete for the high ball. Here they are again, not necessarily an exit set, it is, but they're further up the field, so they'll soon start attacking in a moment. A bit static that. And again, sometimes their timing of run, sometimes their angle of run isn't conducive to getting good go forward, but that's any team, they're just humans. Again, they're targeting the number 7 on that side of the field. Have you noticed they seem to run with more energy when they're running at 9, 7 or 6? A couple of times they've sneaked down the short side now, so the rucks will be quicker in England this year, but that's nothing that Brisbane Broncos won't be used to. Now they are shifting. So look at where they are on the field. They're at the halfway line, and I always say this is a great place to attack because the opposition aren't always expecting you to attack from here, so they can be a little bit, not lazy, but they can be a little bit relaxed. You will also notice at the bottom of the screen there, one player had started to drop for a potential kick, so he's had to rush back into the line. Hull KR shift and get some decent go forward, but it wasn't a try, it wasn't a break. Let's see how we can improve that for Hull Kingston Rovers. Okay, where they played the ball, Wigan have put too many defenders on the short side. If you see here, there's 1, 2, 3. I'm just putting a circle around them there, so you can see how many Wigan players are out of the picture. So it was a good opportunity to shift. However, I think the first receiver is far too deep. To me, he needed to be a bit flatter to engage a little bit more some of the defenders in the middle. I would like to see him roughly about here, where I'm drawing the line now when he catches the ball. Easy to say after the fact, I understand. But it's a very early pass, so the Wigan defence is allowed to detach from him and slide. So this is why Hull Kingston Rovers lacked some room on this edge that they're about to go to now. Also the decoy runner, he didn't really engage any defenders. This is better. Whoever that is has dug into the line, made a defender engage, and now Hull Kingston Rovers have a 3-on-3. Now what always surprises me is why these teams have this shape where they run a massive overs line. So they go from in the line that I'm putting now, they run yeah, I can only describe it as an overs line. I'd prefer to see them a bit more spread out, going a little bit straighter, let the ball do more of the work to have better shape before they start, because the defenders are able to track this run quite easily, and all it is a little bit of go forward. Okay, so I'm sure Hull KR fancied their chances to score from there. That's the last tackle. Mikey Lewis was smart enough then not to kick straight away. He brought the ball to the line. He probably should have played, actually, either side of him, but he decided to kick, and once again the Hull KR attack is putting Wigan under pressure. I just want to go back and have a look at what the winger did, number 5. So number 5, Burgess, is at the dummy half position. Now he's about to pass the ball. Watch what he does straight away. he straight away gets back behind the ball again. That's a 1%er, that's a good 1%er, and it's the kind of things that teams that win championships do quite well. So Brisbane in particular aren't going to get everything their own way in the World Club Challenge. This is very much a good ball set, and Hull KR move the ball to the other side of the field straight away, and they are definitely trying to target the 7, but they're also definitely moving Wigan laterally across the field. If you have a look, Wigan have 4 defenders trapped on the short side now. So Hull KR would do well to shift at this point, but they don't. They turn the ball back inside. So that's allowing the defence of Wigan to recalibrate and readjust. What are Hull KR trying to do? They're trying to move these players laterally. They're trying to make them do some defence, move up, back, across, do some defence, get involved in some collisions, and then trying to attack them. Again, they're sending a half in there to turn the ball back inside. I think they've wasted a few plays there. I think they should have gone sideways earlier when they had those defenders trapped. But this is an indication of what Hull Kingston Rovers are about to do. They've dug into the line there. They've started to shift the ball. Decoy runners are going okay. They've got a massive overlap now, but because they've not set up great, they're going to run out of a little bit of space. So Hull KR can be clunky sometimes. I'm going to go through that again from the start of the set so that you understand what I'm saying. So after the first shift from the tap penalty, we identified Wigan had trapped too many players on the wrong side, basically. Now, what I would expect Hull KR to do better, these attackers on the right are just all looking towards the ball. I'd expect them to be telling lies to the Wigan defence, and therefore the York Knights and the Brisbane Broncos defence in the forthcoming games. But they're not, so the subconscious messages are telling Wigan we're going to the long side of the field, we're coming down the screen as we look. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I would have wanted Hull KR to have an attack from here, because if you count the numbers, there's 4 defenders trapped on the wrong side of the play the ball, 2 at marker, take out the fullback, that's 7 defenders on the wrong side of the ball when this ball is passed now. So that means there's only 6 for Hull KR to attack. Instead, they have another play for Wigan to recalibrate their defensive line. So from this point, in my opinion, Hull KR have wasted a play there. Okay? They could have attacked from there. Now, from here, in my mind, they need to have a threat on both sides of the ball. Look at the body language of Hull KR. They're all looking at the ball. Their hips are facing up to the play the ball. So defenders on the short side didn't have to worry. Hull KR weren't going to take the ball there. It's very obvious they're going open side. And now Wigan have got their defensive split right. They have 6 defenders now above the play the ball. So their defence is well and truly calibrated. So Hull KR have now got to move them around again, basically, if they're going to attack space, which doesn't seem to necessarily be the way they're doing things. Instead, what they do, they turn the ball back inside. That's fine. I would then like to see the next ball, the same thing happen. Instead, they try and go round Wigan and then wonder why they've run out of room. I would have liked them to see another +1 off another half on the top side of the field and then attack back. Instead, I think they are overplaying their hand. Here's another one, turning the ball back inside. So, again, I would like to see them do maybe another one. Let's see what they do. Yeah, that's okay. What I now want them to do is go long, based on what we've just seen them do, where they pass frantically to the other side of the field. Yes, they've trapped some defenders on the wrong side. Should have got rid of the ball. The Wigan defence will be able to recalibrate now. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, they're stuck for things. And it's because of their setup. And they are now just playing ad-lib football. So Hull KR need to be better in their setup against Brisbane Broncos, otherwise Brisbane's defence is going to deal with this quite easily. When Jez Litton comes on, they do have more of a threat on the short side, and I think the players know that. But instead, they're playing a bit too north-south for me, Hull KR there. Let's see what they did in some of the second half. Okay, Not necessarily an exit set, kick return, but it's coming into what could soon be a good ball position. So let's see where this set ends up. I assume they're going to wrap across the field again, and that is indicated by that carry there. Let's see if he continues. Mikey Lewis at dummy half, making it quite clear who they wanted to target in the defensive line. Those Wigan forwards are doing quite a lot of work laterally. They're being worked over, and then Hull KR go back to the middle of the field to make those forwards work again. So definitely a big attempt to work over men in the middle of the field before they launch an attack. And you could argue that works here because Jez Litton gets on the back of it, and because they're supporting the football, Jez Litton goes under to score. So definitely an attacking threat. But again, it's going to take patience in that regard. They're going to have to, if they're looking for those opportunities, they need to be patient and wait for them. But the way they set up in good ball could get them even more tries. This set's a bit further up the field, so I assume they're going to do some attacking soon. They go for a shift. This is better, and this is why they've got some room, because they set it up better. Let's have a look why. Okay, they're on a scrum line now, so... And then they go to the second scrum line. It's an unders run, so he's running straight, basically, and what that does is help keep the Wigan defenders where they are. And if you look at how many Wigan defenders were trapped above the play the ball there, Hull KR have some space, and if they attack it better, they will score some points or get better go forward, better, breaks, and they will trouble Brisbane. Back to a scrum line again there from Jared Weir-Hargraves, who won't be there. Marker's not square again. That was unbelievable. But this is what Mikey Lewis is good at. This is what Jez Litton is good at, just that spontaneous play when they are put under pressure. Last set we'll look at. They're on the opposition goal line now in the second half, deep into the second half. They're in control of the game, 18-6. Next try would kill it off. They overload a short side, Mikey Lewis and Jez Litton involved in that. And they're on a scrum line now, or in between the two scrum lines. Still on a scrum line there, so now I would love Hull KR to either do a +1 back to the middle of the field or shift to the opposite side of the field. You could argue that was the equivalent of a +1, because now what the Wigan defence has done has had to rearrange their defensive line. So now, if this continues, Hull KR can continue to work that Wigan defence laterally. Let's see what they did. They threw numbers at the line. Okay, based on that, because the Wigan defence has moved down the field, they've trapped many men on the short side here. So a long pass, and then a long pass again to the far edge should see some space for the left centre, second row and full-back and wing to exploit. For Hull Kingston Rovers, instead they turn the ball back inside. So they probably need to take a few more risks at times, pass a bit more fluently earlier in the set. They seem to be, when they seem to be setting up for the long play, for the patient play, they probably don't need to. They probably need to attack more, and they've wasted a set of 6 there. So plenty for the Broncos to worry about there in this forthcoming World Club Challenge. Also, York Knights will have to deal with that soon as well. I'm sure you'll agree with me that even though technically sometimes Hull KR didn't meet certain criteria, they are full of effort, full of energy, full of class, and they are very good at grinding the opposition down as well. So it's going to be a real tough World Club Challenge and opener for York Knights in the Super League. By the time you're watching this, you might already know the result of both. Let's have a chat about that. Please get in touch at Rugby League Coach on socials, at RL Coach on the net on X, but everything else is at Rugby League Coach. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe to these videos, please. God bless you.